Okay,
the
okay, that
late
sounds good.
start the
Go
one
ahead, go
mistake
ahead,
that everybody makes.
go
Good
ahead.
morning,
Let's do it.
everybody. Welcome to the Brothers of Legacy.
All
Mama
right.
McCoy in the building. Lisa, Lisa. What is the chai? Is that the chai tea?
No, this is hibiscus.
Oh, hibiscus. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
hibiscus. Yeah.
I got coffee. I've had to. Man, I'm gonna sound old. I had to change up me and milk. I had to divorce. I have to divorce milk because we're not getting along any longer. So I'm trying. Listen, the lactate. I don't like that name, but the lactate milk. It's it's pretty good. Like it's a good
Almond milk is good, man. It
it's
took
a
a
good.
it took some
I tried
it took
almond milk. Well,
almond
you
milk
know
is
what?
good.
Maybe if I put it in coffee, it'd probably be good. I tried it
Right. Almond milk
directly.
is
I drank it. I was like, I don't.
yeah. I mean,
Like it doesn't really have a taste.
I know it doesn't have that creamy milky.
Right?
If
I
you
think
used to that,
that's what it was.
if you used to that leche, that leche, man, that cow's leche, it's gonna
Right?
be hard. It's gonna be hard
It's
to let that
hard.
go.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
man. So yeah, but that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So I'm changing it up a little bit because I realize my stomach every morning. It's hard. It's you try to diagnose everything, but it's like you know what it is. Because I've
Bubble
had like
guts.
right. Because I've had the like milkshakes. I used to love them. Then the last couple, I was like, oh, this is not agreeing with me. It tastes so good going down, but then it's like, it's just not.
The difference now is your body is more sensitive. Like when you were young, you had all the energy. Like,
What?
oh, whatever,
What?
power
Just
through.
wipe that. Just wipe that dirt off. You can. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. But now your body's like, nah, buddy,
Nah.
pay attention.
Pay attention.
Yeah, man.
Yes. Yes. Um. So as you can see, we got Matt Genius in the building. It is Mental Health Wednesday. Appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you share. I'm gonna kick this intro off just to kind of give myself a moment to get together and grab my phone. It's not far, but I have to reach off screen. So it's gonna give me a moment to kind of get myself together, make sure I'm not missing, and Matt can sip on his hibiscus.
Hibiscus.
I say just like that. Hibiscus.
It's a good word.
All right. Let's get. I'm getting the message. All right, let's go.
You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand out. We stand up.
Damn, obviously I wasn't quick enough. All right, let's go. What's up, Jeff? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey in the building. Okay, so when we came on, let's talk about our past a little bit. How it's shaped our future. I guess this does go in line with what we're talking about. Matt was asking me about music. You heard me kind of beatboxing a little bit. You don't want to have to see that.
Break it out, man. Break it out for the folks, man. Break it out, man. Let's go.
Not on cue. I need. You going freestyle? I'm gonna beatbox you on freestyle.
It's gonna be difficult because of the time, how it.
Right.
Yeah.
It may be. I don't know. Okay, but we won't mess with it. We won't mess y'all up.
Yeah.
What was I about to say? So he asked me, did I used to do music? And I was telling him kind of a roundabout way how hip hop had kind of saved my life in the sense of helped me because it kept me from just being real idle during those pivotal teenage years. I think about 15, 16, had an opportunity, had a little rap group, and we used to go to the studio and we just spent hours.
What's the name of the rap group?
Crossroads of Rhythm.
Wow.
Crossroads of Rhythm. You cannot Google it. We have nothing out. Don't do it to yourself.
Oh, nah.
Whoever you see, it's not us.
we had a rap group in high school too. It was called Worldwide.
Worldwide.
Yes.
Nice.
That's it. Yeah. We were the Wu-Tang of the South.
I don't talk about.
We had 9 members. Like
wow.
Borderline 10, 11.
Of course, there's always one. There's always one that's in and out.
In and out. yeah.
Kind of not fully committed. He's like,
Right.
he got other stuff.
Yeah.
I got a girlfriend right now.
Say that name one more time. It was the girlfriend too.
Right? It's Crossroads of Rhythm we had.
Crossroads
There's
of Rhythm.
4 of us. Had the one, he had a girlfriend and they had a baby at,
Wow.
teenage baby. So
Yeah,
he was in and out,
right.
understandably. And actually, though, you can Google Lyrically Ill. That was one of our
Okay.
guys in the group. Now he has stuff that had came out. He was out. He did a tour with the Roots later on.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
He's bona fide Avery Mullen. I'm his name out there, but Lyrically Ill. Now you can Google him. Now his stuff out there is nothing I've ever done because it was when he got older. We kind of split or whatever.
Yeah.
He bust out like Bobby Brown.
That's good. No, we had a couple guys who went and did something. We had one guy. He's in Atlanta now. In fact, his name is Trey Snatch. He has a whole catalog of music, man.
Wow.
Like, he kept on going. He made it to 106 in Park.
Nice.
Yeah, man, remember the freestyle battles?
Yes. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, man, he was.
Wow.
He is. He was. Not that he was. He's really good. He's really good.
Okay.
He's one of the best MCs in our group, and he was on 106 in Park. He got a bunch of songs out right now. Definitely check him out. We also have another one. I think he has one single out. His name is Jeremiah the Prophet. Jeremiah the Prophet. He has a song that he made. It's called the COVID song. He made a song during COVID.
Nice.
Yeah. Other than that, man, we still have guys who they rap, but they got their home studio and they do stuff like that.
Right. I'm banging something out.
Yeah. And then there's me.
Right. I'm just saying. Listen, you make it to the next level. You came back in.
I came back in. I divorced, like you said. Like I had this love, not necessarily hate, but I had this love, kind of teeter-totter relationship with hip hop.
Okay.
And so the story goes.
Right. What's up, Thomas? Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good morning. Doing well.
Morning.
So like I said, I spent several summers in the studio. We would be in there like all day, actually taking lunch breaks. We would leave, go get a sandwich, come back, like all day, all night, just working on songs and doing stuff. So like I said, don't Google our stuff. There's some good stuff I think in my head. So I'll probably hear it now. Like
we don't gotta Google it. We got you, man. Let's hear one of those rhymes, man.
I didn't rhyme. I produced. I made the beats. I didn't rhyme. I wasn't
drop the beats. Matt will drop the flow. Let's go.
Okay, listen, man.
We were gonna do it. He said it might be a delay.
It might be a delay.
What's up, Sam? Good morning, Sam. In the building. What's up, John? Good morning. So I spent a lot of time there. But I love music. I just felt so disappointed by hip hop. My thing is, right, it's not just that it's different. I thought they were going to kind of break out and do something next level, if that makes sense. Like a different kind of sound. Don't do that, Sam. I'll bust a rhyme. Some bars. So I think like I was telling Matt, I just was disappointed in some of the direction hip hop took. I don't know. I don't know. It was gonna be somewhere else. Like the Roots, like they're gonna gravitate more instrumental, something. Right. Like different. Just different. Right. See? There you go. Give him a beat and he can make magic. Yeah. Oh. So yeah. So go ahead.
The producers where the magic happens, right?
True indeed.
Yeah.
True indeed.
Yeah.
I
think the evolution of hip hop, as this is hip hop's 50th, anniversary year. I think evolution of hip hop is something that will be studied for years.
Right.
And people will have their opinion about why it is where it is right now. But it's like that child who all of us wanted to care for, but it wasn't our own,
Right.
Hip hop doesn't belong to any one of us. It belongs to all of us,
Right.
And so I think some of our woes comes from us not having the influence we wish we had.
Right.
Seriously, to steer it in the direction
That's good.
it should have been in, because definitely Roots is still one of the top, 5 groups of all time,
Right.
and I still listen. I got all of their albums on my on my phone because it's still very timeless,
Right.
And I think
Right.
that's what really sets apart some of the real influential pieces for
Yeah.
me versus some of those who come in with the one hit wonders and then exit out. So but what made you feel so, you said, man, I'm so disappointed. What makes you feel like a
I don't
parent?
like I said, I think the Jeff said, dang, you Thomas, you sunroof rich. He said, I'm so that's hilarious. So I some lyrically, like I thought, you had the influences like Nas and a lot of rappers, even some of the West Coast, like their lyrical flow. You thought it was gonna morph into something more. I think it seemed like it got lazy, for lack of a better way of putting it. It didn't get better, it got lazy. And then even like some of the beats, and I got the hey, good morning, Miss Patricia. What's up, Ephraim? He said, give me words that mean something. And the music, hey, work will last. Yeah, and we lost a lot of that timeless, that lyrical flow. And I got out. I got out of hip hop. I got out right when 50 Cent really got started, and I just remember listening to his stuff, and it was good. Like no doubt, 50 is dope. Like I like his flow. He's very descriptive in his content. But then it's just some of the stuff that was just coming after just wasn't attracting me anymore. Just it was like, it's okay. Plus, like I was really getting to my saved-em, my Christ-likeness. So I was kind of pulling away from it as well. But I would check it out and I'm like, every couple of years I check it out and I'm like, where are we at? What's going on? Like, what happened? So it just was real overall disappointing as far as at least a lot of the mainstream stuff. It just was not. Yeah, and then it just was not. Just like I said, it seemed like it got lazy, and now it's really like copycat. Now we copy, everybody copy. Like they found something happening in the '90s, like that were everybody on the West Coast was trying to sound like Easy or like or Dre and them. Like you see a pattern, like okay, if we get this, we can get noticed. But everybody had that breakout. It would try something different. I don't know. I just feel like I thought it'd be at a different level either way. But then maybe it's just I'm older and hip hop is for the mainstream, a different generation, what they like. So
I keep hearing that. I keep hearing that debate right there about hip hop being for the young. And
and the mainstream stuff at least.
Not really. I mean, yes,
brother.
No, right?
Speak your mind. Speak your mind.
You know what? I will. Put on my old head hat real quick. Honestly, because this is a genre that's still very young. It's one of the youngest genres when it comes to music, and most of the other genres they don't have a time capsule for their they don't have an exit. You see 70-year-old rockers like born to be wild, born drooling. Right?
and you're right. They've been old since the 80s. Like they're all this still
exactly. I want
to see. It's funny.
I want to see Snoop Dogg with no knees, still trying to football. I want to see it.
Matt is making a good point because the Eagles have been on their last tour forever. This is gonna be our last tour. It's gonna be our last tour.
Get that check.
Yeah, I know one of their members passed away recently, but so that might be the end. But every year has been this our last year tour. Right? That's the last tour.
The Eagles. Oh man, they've been around forever.
Sometimes it's hard to put out Aerosmith. Sometimes it's hard to put out new music. As an older MC, it's hard to put out new music because your sound may be dated. But for those who can evolve, like Nas and Jay, and like
E40,
like
too short.
Snoop still rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of them can evolve with the sound and still can create something that's relevant that people want to listen to. But there was this battle between Eminem and this. I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name, but he was battling Eminem, this older guy, man. And man, when he came back out with that record, I'm like, Woo, man, it was hard to listen to because
Right.
it was like you Eminem.
Oh wait. Oh, what you call it? What's his name?
I don't know his name.
Melly Mel. Was it Melly Mel?
Yeah, Melly Mel.
Did he actually battle? Did he actually?
He battled Eminem, man. He battled
With the
Eminem.
same flow, same
Right.
Same flow.
Like he like
Oh
90s.
man.
Stop it.
It was tough. It was tough to listen to. You know, I'm not saying that he can't, but if you are going to step on the stage with new music, you got to make it. You know, you got to evolve a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you know, the thing about it is, if things don't evolve, they die. So ultimately, if hip hop didn't evolve, it would be dead, or it would be, you know, in a different area. Something would have took its place. And you know, a lot of things that we have to look at when it comes to music these days. Back in the days, we used to listen to songs that go on forever.
Right.
And you know, our songs would be like 6, 7, 8 minutes, and we'd be in there sweating and funky and all that other stuff. Now you look at most albums and most songs, they're like 2, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's a hit. So why not do a 2 or 3 minute hit, make it a banger? You don't even have to put albums out now. You ain't got to put the whole album out. Just put some music out, put a few tracks together, insta-millionaire, you know? And so a lot of what's been paved in the past allows these people to not have to do as much and get paid way more. NBA is an example of that. You know, you don't have to worry about getting your head taken off going to the hole, and you make hundreds of millions of dollars for resting, you know, minutes restrictions and all that other stuff. And I'm gonna make hundreds of millions of dollars. But the people in the past in the NBA, you know, if the NBA didn't evolve, it would have died, you know? So it's just, you kind of look at any business or any model of something, if it doesn't evolve, it dies. If our dreams don't evolve, they die. So, yeah.
So
I think there's no accountability though for the content that's coming out from hip hop, you know, like there's no one holding.
There's no gatekeeper.
Yeah, I mean, they are gatekeepers, and I think the gatekeepers are the one holding those who do have a more positive message out there. You know,
okay.
You know, if you don't rap about, I heard Lecrae said, if you're not rapping about murder, drugs, sex, violence, then you're not gonna get. You know, where's your record deal? You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to hear that, and understandably so. This has been a programming that's been happening for decades. And so after a while, when you don't hear those on the lyrics, you be like, man, that guy's soft, man. What are you rapping about? Biscuits and flowers.
You know, it's funny.
You know, like
I know this rapper named Matt Genius. He's putting out hits. He's putting out hits. But ain't nobody, you know, people that like us will gravitate toward that music. We want our kids to listen to that music. We want to inspire the next generation. Matt is just, here's the thing. Matt is not out of time. He's before his time. And that's the way I kind of look at it. It's like, if we're ever going to change something, we got to start it somewhere. And we can't let the gatekeepers be the ones that say, you know, if you want to actually break into this space, you got to be this way, because that's the way life is. Everybody says you have to be a certain way to break into a space, but actually you can actually change the game or be ahead of the game and just make sure that you're ready for it. When we think about Kaepernick took a knee, and nobody liked him taking a knee, and the whole narrative got skewed. But you know, in 2020 and 2021, when a lot of things started changing, everything that Kaepernick stood for is all on the NFL fields now. And so it's like, sometimes you're before your time, you're going to get crucified for it, but you know, it's the thing that you have to do sometimes.
Ephraim asked, he said, so who would be, he said, but who would that person be, Matt? Like, who's widely accepted enough to be the official gatekeeper of what's good?
I mean, you still have record labels that are, you know, ran by black.
Make a meal.
You know, like for example, you know, Puff Daddy still owns Bad Boy Records. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what's coming out of Bad Boy right now? You know, what's coming out of Bad Boy? Who's he?
Puff Daddy's son.
You know, honestly, there are a lot of those individuals who still have the power. You know, Birdman is still in charge of you know, his, you know, but they still pull in the the artists that kind of speak from a space of violence, drugs, and listen. I listen to it too. Everybody loves their wretched music every night, right? But I think the point is, what we don't understand sometimes is how it's influencing us and how it allows us not to elevate what's in here and in here to then be better out here. The music is actually creating a type of idea that would then manifest in how you interact,
Right.
And so, listen, you put on what's that song called from No Limit? Ride for my hitters. That's what I'll say. Ride for my hitters. Yeah, okay.
Right. Are we all in the car like that?
Or my strap, man, homie.
Atlanta's own Pastor Troy. We read it. Right. Honestly, these music, it does something to us in it because of where we are. We're in a state that allows those emotions to be at the forefront of how we engage. You know what I'm saying? I think we have to own our emotions by saying, you know what, I don't necessarily have to feel like this to resolve a conflict, or to relate to my brother, or to relate to my sister, or to relate to my family, my wife, my kids, my community at large. And so I think we can do a better job. The reason why I brought up Puff Daddy, who I still, respect, I think it's more of the same. The formula is still the same. I saw him on a video with the artist out in London, and the guy's, he's nice. I'm not saying, I have an issue with his lyricism, but I have an issue with what he's saying. It's always this right. It's always I'm gonna shoot this person, and it's the same formula, but on a different continent now. He's on the UK side of things, rinsing and repeating. It sounds like G Dep or Black Rob, but in the UK, So I'm like, we're doing the same thing over and over. We have to be able to say, you know what, my kids need something different. My kids need to hear something different, because what they're gonna do is emulate the imitation. Right. And then we're imitating a life that's not even ours. You talking about gangster stuff, bro? Yeah. When was the last time you were gangster, P. Diddy? You've been living.
I was going to mention that, Matt, how people, we're following all this music as if that's the life they're living. Right. And, the people that are suffering the most are the people who have to feel like they live this life on the streets, while the millionaires are making money off the propaganda. Right. I once heard this before. Someone said the beats hook you and the lyrics kill you. And so when you start thinking about the lyrics that people are living out or trying to live out their fantasy of gangsterism, the music will hook you by that beat, that dun 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 dun. But then you start, talking about everything goes along with that. Right. And we find a generation, if we look at the last 30 years, the generation of gangster rap and rappers and this kill and the way they treat women, the way they are, and everything else. We have a playbook that's being repeated over and over again, and it's being propagated by these music companies out to these communities because we're consumers. And there's so many other things. I'm sorry to get so deep on this, but that's what when I look at this music, that's what a lot of times we went from what was positive and uplifting and brings everything together and places where we can find commonality to now, we're using the same avenue to split and divide.
Right. Ephraim said y'all got to get that Andy Mineo. I'll keep saying his last name.
Mineo.
Coming in hot. Yeah.
Mineo. Coming in hot.
Yeah. And Andy's been on it,
Yeah.
And listen, I've listened to you name it across the spectrum, from gospel rap with Lecrae, Trey Lee, Andy, to some of the I remember there's this group, I think it's called Player Circle. Not Player Circle. It was another group that looked like Outkast. They had oh man, I can't remember the name of it. Hey, dude? But anyway, like I said, I listen to. I'm not biased. Basically, I listen to anything that actually would educate me and teach me something. I remember when I stopped listening to Bow Wow. I'm like, what you talking about, man? Like, I can't. For me, I need something that will help this, do something different.
So do you guys feel like a lot of the music that we would listen to shaped who we are and shaped kind of some of our direction?
Indirectly.
Okay.
Indirectly. Instructions are always being given.
Right.
The real question is, are we conscious enough to pull out what those messages are and how they're instructing us? Like I got instructions from Redman years ago. Redman.
Not Redman.
Redman said, he said Timberland Air Force Ones and shell toes. That's all I needed to hear. Timberland Air Force Ones and shell toes.
Got a closet full of them now. Nike done benefited from that. Right. Adidas done benefited, shell toes.
Right.
Like, and again, those companies also benefit. So they're going to, shovel money into it.
Right.
When my Adidas came out from Run DMC, that was a game changer right there.
Yes.
That was mainstream.
Right.
And, it took everybody from, wearing whatever you were wearing to locking everybody into one brand. And when you start thinking about that, like the Jordan era, I got too many pair of Jordans that I shouldn't even have. And why? Because they're kind of cool, but then it's the thing, right? And so if 3 years ago I didn't have one pair of Jordans and I just started buying one, and I was like, oh, these are cool. Oh, let me buy these. Oh, they're coming out with these. Let me get these. Right. And so it's like, it's stupid. But then it's in that marketing and the music.
Nelly, Air Force Ones. Remember that?
Right. Yeah, got me stopping in my air.
But man, there is something to say about when we consume this music on how it kind of shapes us to be the individuals that we are. Like some of the music are entertainment, and I don't think sometimes as minority and Black artists we have that license to just entertain, to tell a great story. To tell a great story. Ghetto Boys was one of my favorite groups from the South, and they used to tell magnificent stories. Scarface taught me how to talk to women. Like
the Scarface.
He taught me how to talk to girls. Please excuse my attitude. Sorry if I'm being rude, but I got something to say to you. Right? I used to use that line. You know what I'm saying? So, but there's the detachment from what is entertainment versus what is real life. A lot of artists portray their music as real life versus entertainment. If you watch movies, we know it's entertainment, but when we listen to music, we believe it's real life. Because the artist will tell you, "This is my life, man. Right. This is my life." You know what I'm saying? Like real life. So I think we have to also give some license for entertainment as well. There's a song that I put out called Love Gun, where it's a fictional story about real things, meaning these things happen, but I didn't go out and murder somebody. I said in the song, if you put a gun in my hand, what I would have done back then, I would have murdered somebody. But did it actually happen? No, I didn't murder anybody.
Right.
Wink, wink. No, I'm just kidding.
Jokes. These are jokes, guys.
Matt's telling a couple stories right here. Number one, he learned how to talk to women from Scarface, so he's an undercover pimp. He's talking about if you would have put a gun in my hands, this would have happened. He's an undercover Don, Look, I'm a Matt. Okay, you've been redeemed. I can see.
Oh man.
All truth, all truth.
Let's see. So Ephraim said, "I still find words and thoughts from Nas, Outkast, and Trick Daddy in my conversations today."
Yeah, man. Trick Daddy.
Bro says a lot of these rappers and singers singing the whiny drawl, barely opening their mouths. I can't stand it. They all sound the same to me. Same beats on top of bad lyrics. I got you. I think
I got a theory. Right?
What's the theory?
Seriously, and the theory is this: the drug of choice for old school artists were weed, marijuana, alcohol, and when they got in the booth, you can hear the influence of weed and alcohol on them. You know, one of my favorite artists, Old Dirty Bastard, man. Old Dirty Bastard was in the booth, right? You could tell he had, some elixirs. Some elixirs, what I say. But I think in the advent of, this drug pushing era where, you're talking about pills, you're talking about lean, you're talking about all these different things, the influence on the artist is visible and it's also audible. You can hear it when they can't deliver, or when they think they're delivering something powerful, but when what they're actually doing is slurring. So what's in the booth with them? What are they, using to get in their creative juices, And so I think some of that influences how we hear and what they're saying as well. And so even if somebody is not using it, they emulate that style because that style is so popular and it became a sound that became what everybody want to sound like.
True.
A theory.
But even in the sound, even if you're not a rapper, you want to feel that lifestyle. So the clubbing era, and so you go to the clubs, you do the lean, you do all this other stuff. There's just so many different things that keep us. In my opinion, those are the things that don't allow us to thrive, because we're always striving to be, in this world in that way, and this is what's hip and what's cool. Not everybody, but you can see it how it influences a big part of how people are. You go to school these days, people go away to college, and they go to college not just, of course, college has always been the place you go, and you can have fun. There's all this turn up, but now it's just a whole other level right now, where I don't even want to show up to school. And
a lot of the college kids, that I work with, man, a lot of them are struggling with anxiety. And not to say we weren't struggling with it as well, but it's like the influence of being seen and being marred, being martyred, like put on the internet because you did this. And people are afraid, man. People are afraid to just be themselves out there for fear of what that would look like. Nobody wants to be a meme these days. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody wants to, and so you can't even show up as yourself. So that's very tiring, man. So.
Yeah, I was teaching a group of young people yesterday, and we're talking about relationships, and a lot of times the things that they struggle with when it comes to relationships and anger and anxiety and different other things, it's because we have this picture that's been drawn for us all our life, and especially them through their music, through what they listen to, what they've been exposed to, how school is developing out people. One of the things I learned over the last few months is that school doesn't even really teach critical thinking anymore. It teaches you how to lower order think, which is figure out how to finish this test. You don't have to worry about anything else. No critical thinking. You take them, for us growing up, there's so many different things, and that's where I feel like the difference between our era and this era and generation doesn't make ours better, but we had a lot more ability to do things critically, think critically. We had playgrounds that would, if we fell down, our knees would get tore up, and that was a regular thing. So we just jump up and keep going. Today, if a kid falls down and barely scrapes their hand, oh, I need a Band-Aid. Oh, it's and it's trauma. It's extra trauma, and so it's two different generations, of course. And so when we're talking about the music and how the music used to be and the way it is now, there's an evolution of it, but there's also an influence that is taking things to a different level.
Yeah,
no doubt. I think, definitely. All right, my bad. But yeah, definitely.
Who let the dogs out?
Whoa, 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 whoa!
He's almost on tune right there. He's almost. He said, "I can't." Actually, ran home crying like a little schoolgirl. Oh man. Yeah, I think a lot of the music and culture, we really need to be more conscious of shaping our children, because a lot of, I don't know, I guess a lot back then, a lot shaped our present, as far as music and culture and stuff like that, and the barriers and things we learned were a little better, maybe, But now with the access of the internet and so much out there, we really have to be mindful. Or maybe parents should have been more mindful then. But I think, we could focus on the things that are around us better back then as opposed to now. There's just so much, internet.
Back then and now, the similarities are this, right? Hip hop was like the hood reporters. They would report what's happening in the hood. But I think some of the difference that broke out of back then and now is that there became a glorification of what's happening in the hood versus just reporting. When you start glorifying what's happening versus just reporting what's happening and your own experiences, then it becomes something to attract rather than repel. A lot of artists from back then, they would report it and they'd be like, but this is not what you want. You don't want to be in this situation. I'm trying to get out this situation. But I think now it's an invitation to prove like some type of stripes or, some type of honor or some type of, affirmation of self when you can say that this is what I experienced. I had this and I did that and and nobody can't do this, versus this is what's happening. These are real life situations that have happened in my life, on my block, and so forth. And so I think we have to also remember that these things are still happening. I might not live in the ghetto anymore, but there are plenty of ghettos in the US where it's on and popping. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of things that are happening. And so people report, but I think, like I said, there might be a glorification of it.
Right.
In a sense to where we feel stuck there, even though you are on your way out, you still feel like you have to report as if that's still who you are and that's who you always will be.
Right. Yeah, definitely. From said, I do appreciate those easy songs that aren't so heavy every now and then. To my Old Town Road, Rehab, there's something for the kids. Yeah, definitely. It can be, you get caught up if you live in a certain space and hear certain music. It's like, this is my survival album. I learned to survive on these streets or whatever neighborhood I may be in. But man, it just, the influence is real. Influence is real.
I remember being sad in high school because I got dumped. And I remember the album that kind of really took me out of that funk was Comment. Like Water for Chocolate. Right. That album was so clean, man. It was so good. I could listen to it from beginning to end, and it was a story after story after story after story, And he had a song with CeeLo Green from Outkast. I mean, from Goody Mob.
Goody Mob,
And the song was a song for Asada, and that song was like, I have that song on repeat, And I'd be like, crying, listening to it. It was such a moving song. CeeLo Green, when he sings, man, it sounds so soulful. So honestly, there's a lot of albums, from the past that still shaped who I am to be more positive than it did for me to be, like my man was saying, a pimp.
Right.
It's funny. So when I got dumped, it was Too Short that brought me out of it.
Oh God.
That's the worst one, man. Listen,
right.
I said,
what's my favorite word?
He's been saying it for decades.
Still relevant.
Yes.
Oh man.
Too Short's a great storyteller too, man. Like, I don't know.
He does.
Liquid Tales. Man, these are the tales. Let me stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I'm more of the Tribe Called Quest. Keep it peace. De La Soul. Keep me non-violent. Keep me non-violent.
That bubble gum. You want that bubble gum?
Right? Not the bubble gum.
No,
really?
Listen,
Don't do that.
Tribe had it, man. My boy Five Dog. I like them brown, yellow, Puerto Rican, and Haitian. My name is Five Dog from the Zulu Nation. Tell you in the jam that but listen, it was a vibe, man. And then you had Q-Tip as the producer. Come on, man.
Right.
So it was on another level right there, man.
I can't even. What song? He said, "Wait, when I got dumped, it was Karen Carpenter who pulled me out." Karen Carpenter. Give me the song. I probably know the song.
I'm gonna Google it. Man.
He's going way back too. You gotta remember he's going way down. It must have been Jeff, huh?
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was Jeff. Mom, I was unfortunately I was stuck on mine was Babyface. I was really booing. I was R&B. I'm in R&B. There you go.
Yeah, that 2 occasions going on.
That's day and night. Put that comment back up. I missed that one.
Oh, okay. I was gonna let's see. He said I'm anxious, triggered, and having trauma from the pics of those birds in his background.
You talking about this right here?
Oh, he's out there been to my knees, and I need counseling and multiple drugs. In the booth I go. He said, in the booth I go. See, there you go, Jeff. Me and Jeff love. He said, "Love Babyface." Jeff.
Oh man, listen, Babyface was a remedy, man. If he couldn't solve your relationship issues, it was over.
Right. All right. Oh, so listen, guys, we appreciate you guys for rocking with us. A little different conversation, but hopefully you got something out of it. Don't let the music influence you unless it's something positive. Listen to some of KRS-One. That's a little knowledge right there. Get you hyped up. Great storyteller. This is
Criminal Minded.
Criminal Minded. You've been blinded. All right. So we appreciate you guys for being another edition of the Brothers. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Thursday. So,
Thursday. Run your mouth Thursday.
Run your mouth. Run your mouth. Maybe that'd be good, right? Run your mouth right before Freestyle Friday. Make sure you share. Thank you guys for rocking with us.
And go listen to Matt Genius.
Yes.
Listen to Matt Genius.
I'm about to make a meal.
There you go. That's he said, don't do that. He suggested, do you know that Matt's wearing the safety goggles?
This is from the old school right here. This is the Run DMC big
Run DMC joints.
But you wouldn't get it though. You
would.
You ain't know.
You ain't get it. All right. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, same time, same channel. 988. If you or someone you love is having a mental health crisis, make sure you dial 988. Yes, Jeff co-signed. Matt's music is fire. So make sure you guys support and know that we love you. Jesus loves you better. Stay safe, make good choices, and we will see you in the AM. Peace out, guys.